Welcome back, everybody. Please smash that like button. Hopefully, you find our videos entertaining and
Informative. Don't
that's
forget to
right.
subscribe.
That's right. Don't forget to subscribe.
It's for free. Baba.
Recommend us to your friends. I feel some sort of an echo now.
Yes, the guitar.
Oh, okay. Is that normal?
Isn't that funny?
That is the guitar.
Woo!
You know what? I'm gonna have to put the pick in there. Where's the pick?
Ah, that's the secret.
Somebody took my pick.
It looks so good, though.
What? The pick?
No, the guitar. Let's see, is that gonna work?
Hopefully.
See? That's better.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Better.
it's the vibration.
Yo. Okay.
Alrighty.
So this week is Parshas
Tzav.
Tzav, and that does not mean the Parsha of the turtle. As some people may mistake it for, because Tzav in Hebrew means turtle. Although I don't know how you spell it, if it's with a vase or a vav.
Yes, we digress. So this parsha talks about the animals, the sacrifices, and all the
Yeah, Moshe Rabbeinu, when he I think talks about when he did the avoda to inaugurate the Aaron and his sons.
right.
Yeah, and it talks basically all about the process of the Karbanos in the Mishkan.
Right. Something very interesting I learned this week that pertains to this is I thought that every sacrifice that we ever made had to be perfect. But what I learned was that apparently when it comes to birds, the fowl animals,
Right.
it doesn't have to be completely perfect. It could have imperfections.
Yeah.
As long as a limb is not missing, like a whole limb, like a wing or a foot or a beak or an eye, as long as it's not something severe like that, then any one of those birds could be used for korbanot.
Okay.
I thought it was a common misconception because I always, growing up, I thought that every single thing that we offer as sacrifices had to be perfect without any blemish.
Well, I mean, also, what does it mean perfect? Like some things on an animal could be okay and some things aren't. But definitely, I remember also being surprised about that. I think learning it this year. Maybe it was last week. I don't remember. But yeah, like the bird offering has less limitations than an animal offering.
Right.
100%.
But if an animal, what is considered imperfection though? But if an animal has some sort of a lump, is that considered an imperfection? Is that not considered an imperfection?
That's up for the.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, the Kohanim knew all those laws. I don't know what those were. People brought the animals to the Beis Hamikdash, and they were
Inspected by the
respected.
Kohanim, of course.
respected, and then they knew. That's actually this, the very sad story of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. One of the things that what this man wanted to do was he wanted to get back at all the people who didn't stand up for him. Right? The story where the guy was invited accidentally to a party of someone he didn't
that
like.
during the Roman rule?
Yeah, that's the second Beis Hamikdash.
Right. He told them to give an animal that had a blemish, and they paid
So
him.
he secretly put a blemish somewhere where, unless you're inspecting it for blemishes, you wouldn't see it. And so he made the person in charge, I don't know, the emperor or the general, I don't know who it was, I don't remember the exact characters, but, and I might even be getting their story wrong, but I think I'm correct, that basically, so when they rejected his offering, that was seen as a slight.
I think that was the time of the siege of the Masada, no?
It was all around the same, it was under the same rule. I don't know the timeline.
Okay.
But yeah, I actually still have to go there. Maybe this summer, maybe earlier, maybe Mashiach, but
Probably the space of Mashiach is coming.
hopefully earlier. You said, yeah.
We've only got a month left, bro. Prepare.
Well, believe me, waiting a whole month is too much. Waiting a whole day is too much. But yeah, I wanted to just mention a few things. First, actually, do you have anything on the Parsha?
Yeah, later. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'll add some things.
Okay. So one of the things, guys, it's so noisy today outside. I guess it's the middle of the day.
It's Friday. What do you expect? Everybody's running around like headless chickens trying to get things done. It's a good thing Shabbos comes in later.
Yeah, 100%. Anyway, so back to the Parsha. One of the mitzvahs that we have is that when anything gets burnt on the Mizbeach, what happens when it's burnt? It's burnt entirely, right? Kalil, it's called, when it's like, entirely. But what's left?
Ashes.
Ashes is basically what, there's 4 elements in the world: water, air,
Earth.
dust,
Okay.
and fire.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is that when it gets consumed in the fire, what's left is like the earth, right? That's like the one element that doesn't go up.
Okay.
Now, what does the carbon really mean? Right? Everything has a deeper spiritual meaning. What does it mean when you take something that's worldly, an animal, and you burn it for God? What does that mean? What does that represent on a deeper level? So, one of the things that it represents is the idea that we're meant to be in this world and elevate the physical to holiness.
Okay.
That's what we have. The whole idea is to elevate the physical and to bring godliness into this world, right? To make a home for Hashem in this world, right? Make me a sanctuary and I will dwell within them. So, and that's the idea of Mashiach, which is, when the world is going to be in its perfect state, is when godliness is going to be revealed in so openly that no one will be able to deny God.
Okay.
And until then, our whole mission is to just make this place, battle the
bring holiness into this world to
Yeah.
make this world more pure and more holy.
Right, to work on ourselves, to work on our surroundings, and to make it a more purified place. So to get it ready for, either you're going to be a part of it or you won't. But anyway, so if you look at the Karban, there is the mitzvah of burning the animal. What happens with the ash afterwards? So the ash, there's 2 things. There's a portion that's taken. It's called Dehirim Esadeshen. That's the words from the pasuk. Trum Esadeshen, taking the ash and putting it Eitzel HaMizbeach, right next to the Mizbeach. So it's not fit to be on the Mizbeach, and it doesn't go up, so to speak, to God in the Karban. It remains. And then what happens to the rest of the ashes? It's taken outside of the camp,
Right.
El Makim Tahar, to a pure place.
What is considered a pure place?
Well, that means that, I guess, a place where there was probably a place designated for it, which, I don't know, let's say there's no, it's not where bodies are buried, or, I don't know what, it's a good question, actually. What does it mean, El Makim Tahar? What categorizes
It to be a pure
place as pure place? Okay, it's a good, interesting question.
But where do they take it?
Outside of the camp.
Okay, but was it somewhere in the woods that they bury it, or they just spread it out? What do they do with it?
My understanding was it was dumped somewhere.
Do they send it to India? What do they do with it?
No, I just think they had to take it. It couldn't be in the camps. Again, there was a camp, right? Whether it's in.
So when you're talking about camp, we're talking about the time of Mishkan.
Well, we're talking about any time, meaning whether it's in the Mishkan where they had the mobile Mishkan, or if it was in the time where.
If it's at a time where the Beit HaMikdash already exists, you don't say you take it out of the camp. You
that
say
would
you
mean
take it out of the
Yerushalayim.
city, right?
Yeah, okay, but that would.
So when you say out of camp, that means it was the time of Mishkan. So where would they take it? In the woods? What do they do with it in the woods? They can't just bury it. Do they spread it out? What do they do with it? So there has to be a specific answer to where it all goes, because it's not just regular things. It's not something that you could just dispose of. It's not garbage.
So I don't know. Actually, maybe.
You never thought about it?
Well, we already know from the beginning of the show that Ilya asks all the questions that people who just grew up in yeshiva take for granted. It's like, yeah, whatever, you take it somewhere.
Yeah, okay. It's
where do
done.
you
Let's
take
get
it?
it right. What do you do with it?
Yeah.
It's important because it's done every day, all day. So,
Yeah.
so it's a lot of ashes.
Yeah.
You can't just dig a ditch and throw it in there because it's not.
Well, the
It
question,
doesn't.
well, I mean, maybe that is what they did. I have no clue because, when they traveled in the Mishkan most of the time, they traveled a bunch of times, but they were stationary for most of the time.
I think 19 years we were stationed in one place.
Right. But
That was the longest we ever stayed there.
right. It's a good question, but the
Don't deviate from the point. I get
no,
it.
no, no. I wanted to say something that if you want the answer, you should learn Rambam. Because Rambam goes through every single mitzvah in the Torah and just lays it out like
With
a
all the
Shulchan Aruch.
specific.
It's amazing. I was actually just listening to a podcast about his life. Guys, I want to turn you on to a podcast that's incredible. It's called History for the Curious. It doesn't sound like it has any. The title doesn't sound like it's Jewish, but it's two Jews, religious Jews, speaking to each other. One of them, the rabbi who has all the information, his name is Rabbi Aubrey Hirsch. An interesting name. My brother-in-law turned me on to him. Incredible. I mean, from everything to like the history of Maimonides to the origin of Christianity and Yashka and like all and talking about he talks about the Holocaust and he talks about different episodes in Jewish history. Incredible, so well read, such good research. It's incredible. And I'm going off because I was listening today to him talking about the Rambam, and it's such.
What's the name of his book?
The book is called Mishnah Torah, or Yad HaChazaka. I might be saying that wrong. Yad means hand. It also is 14. There's 14 books in what he wrote. So it's Mishnah Torah. Mishnah Torah means like recounting the Torah. I mean, he laid it out in a way where all the halachas are there.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but we went way off the topic. But so now this symbolizes three things. Number one, you have the karban, right? Going back to the karban and it getting burnt on the mizbeach and the ashes getting taken. Number one, you have the mizbeach, the karban that gets burnt on the mizbeach. That symbolizes the animal that gets burnt. Sorry. No, that doesn't. That is what it is. It symbolizes the stuff that are entirely consecrated for Hashem.
Okay.
It's very holy objects. So, for example, right, in this world we take cow's leather and we put on tefillin, right? Or the things that we are obligated to do. Anything that's holy, that is given 100% to godliness, that is that's spiritually represented by what's burnt on the mizbeach. Now,
Hold on. Most of these korbanot, when they were done, weren't most organs taken out?
1 second.
We're not live?
We are live, but something happened to the camera. 1 second.
The battery died?
Doesn't make sense. Sorry, guys. Technical issues. Oh no, it's on.
What's the problem?
Yeah, Odella, we figured out that the video is off.
Your number one fan.
Thanks.
Yes, I am your number one fan, that's false.
The funniest thing is on video. The funniest thing is that's on video now. That's funny. Okay. That's great. The best stuff that happen are the ones you don't plan for.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's my wife, guys. So what were we talking about?
Wow, he got so nervous as soon as she called.
No, I didn't get nervous. I just. It's more that I don't like when.
It's all right, bro. Come on, stop sweating, man. It's all right.
1 second. The audio is back where it should be. Okay. Okay.
Good stuff.
Yes. Let's see who's commenting. Oh,
What's the comment?
I'll tell you later. It's better. I don't. Oh, it's gonna be on the video. People can see it anyway.
Somebody said something?
We'll talk
Okay, keep
later.
going.
Hi, Shirley. How are you?
It's your brother, isn't it?
Talk
Okay.
after. So, wow, so many interruptions.
Good.
What do you say when this happens? It's the Yitzhahara.
That's right.
So, you have the part that's burnt on the mizbeach entirely. That's the things that are 100% for God, right?
Okay, so
Whatever
guts
that-
and everything.
What?
Guts and everything.
No, I'm not talking about what goes on. I'm saying whatever gets burnt, that represents the holy stuff that go up to God, right? It doesn't remain.
Right.
The only thing that remains is the ashes.
Is ashes.
The ashes represent the stuff in this world that are not entirely sacred for God,
Okay.
right? Now, there's two things that happen there. And this says a lot about how a Jew's life should be lived. Because nothing about this, even though it can't be, it's not on the level of holiness where it totally gets consumed and goes, on high. There still has to be pure. Even the part that's not put next to the Mizbeach is still pure. So now you have the stuff that's fully holy. Then you have the stuff that, the part that's taken, there's a part that you have to take, and you put next to the Mizbeach. That's the type of stuff that, even though not necessarily is it holiness, it's stuff that you're allowed to do. Because if it's prohibited, then it's impure.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff that's permitted, you could do it, but you see an obvious. It's obvious that this is meant that this can be used for godliness. That this has something that can serve godliness. So I mean, you could any example, like I don't know, let's say a stender, a piece of wood that you use to put a sefer on, right?
Okay.
Or let's say I have a talent, right? This talent on its own is just a talent. It can be used for good or bad. And let's say I know how to play guitar. I go play guitar. I make old people in old age homes, or in rehabilitation centers happy. People go and they play guitar. You're taking something which is a talent you have, and you're doing, what is it called? You should know God in all your ways. Meaning you shouldn't take your talents and be like, oh, this isn't godliness, so therefore forget about it. No, take your talents and use it for God. And then there is the rest of the ashes, which is taken outside but to a pure place. And that is the stuff which is not even like, it's not something, the way I understood this was that it's not evident that that it can be used for God. The way I understood it, and I could be wrong, is that, let's say I eat, I drink, I go to the bathroom, I sleep. All these things are things that everybody does. You're going to do no matter what. And even those things should be done in a pure way. And Shulchan Aruch tells us exactly how to do that. There's a way to eat. There's a way to drink. There's a way to go to sleep. There's a way to go to the bathroom. There's a way to go to the shower. Everything, and that's more than kol derech. That's kol ma'asecha. Everything you do, which you have to do anyway, l'shem shamayim, should be for godliness.
Okay.
So that means that when I go eat, I can say I'm eating. Why am I eating? Because I have to serve God, and this is going to fuel me to serve God. Why am I going to the bathroom? Going to the bathroom, that's, that's a waste of time. Imagine, I wish I didn't have to go to the bathroom. This is part of service of God. God told me to be clean. God told me to take care of my health. Everything that I do can be done for God. Anyways, that's what you see from the taking of the ashes. That every single part of a Jew's life is meant to be, in one way or another, for God. From the most holy to the most mundane. That's what you see. It's it's a little something from the Rebbe.
It's interesting you said that about the talents. It says that Leviim had a special way of singing. They had a talent that they knew a way to sing in the Beit HaMikdash. And that was one of the secrets that kind of they took with them when the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed. It's one of the secrets that they, to this day, we don't know. When
there were a few secrets. Well, yeah.
Right. Another one was, another secret was to write all three safers at the same time.
Yeah, right. To
right,
write Hashem's name.
Right, correct.
Not like this, right? It's like, like God's name, like that's it.
Only one family knew about it, and the third one
was it what was the family's name? Was it based on Tinas? I could be totally making that up.
Yeah, you're asking the wrong person.
No worries.
I'm bad with names. So, and the third one was the Ketorah.
He's going to Jewish boot camp, right?
I should have never mentioned it.
It doesn't mean anything. No one.
The third secret was the Ketorah. There's one ingredient that is missing, that we don't know what that ingredient is.
I think we learned it in Mishnayos, right? It was like,
I think so, yeah.
Chachamim were upset at this family.
Yeah, Mishnayos, right.
Yeah. So
coming back to the what's his name,
Karbanos. Okay, yeah. I'm just gonna grab the safer. Where did I put it? Over here. I'm just gonna read some stuff about fire. For all the pyromaniacs out there. No, the Torah talks about that there should always be a fire on the mizbech. So after what you say, I'm gonna just some cool stuff about fire and some holy people.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, what I was gonna say is that, so when they take all the ashes and they go out from the camp and they get rid of it, they have to get rid of it in a pure place.
Yeah.
But as we know, the woods is not considered a pure place.
Why not?
We can't go to the woods at night. There's a reason why we can't go to the woods at night.
Well, first of all, I don't know if it was woods. First of all, they were in the desert. I don't know if the woods are not. I would actually counter that the woods are probably one of the most pure places.
We're not allowed to go to the woods at night because.
But that's because of
a lot of
mazike.
impure. Something wrong with the connection?
I don't know what it is. I guess.
Is this working as a video?
Yeah, no, this is fine. They could hear us too because it's using the camera's audio. It's just very frustrating. This is happening. It shouldn't be happening. Let's try this one more time. Boom. So, what was your question?
That was my question. What is considered pure or impure place? And what would they do with it? And eventually, you have a huge accumulation of all these ashes. This all has to go somewhere.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is, an example would be Auschwitz. If you've ever been to that area, to this day, you walk around in the grass, and in the grass you see all this.
So you can say it again
ash.
because the audio is not going to be good. Now it will be. Okay, guys, I hope this won't happen again. It's very, very
We
annoying.
lost
what's
a lot
going
of
on.
viewers.
What?
So we lost a lot of viewers.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? This is ridiculous. Okay, yeah, it's working now. Sorry, guys.
What I was saying is, I'm trying to figure out, since we were doing so many korbanot all day, every day, you know, and all the ashes that are accumulating, it had to accumulate. There had to be tons and tons of ashes. Yes, ashes don't weigh as much, but if you're doing this every day in and day out, like my example is, you go to Auschwitz. You go in that area to this day because of the amount of people they burned there. You walk around in the grass, there's still ashes. You can see and feel ashes in the ground. So you're telling me after all these years we've been doing korbanot every single day, hundreds and thousands of animals that are being burned. It had to accumulate somewhere. I'm not saying go and find it. What I'm saying is the way they dispose of it had to be in a way where it goes back into the ground. You understand what I'm saying?
Probably did. You know what? This is a good question for next week. We have our homework
Okay.
for next week. But what I wanted to say is about the woods. I don't know about impure things happening in the woods. Like there's a whole thing about the Baal Shem Tov that he actually, when he was a child, he would run into the woods to be alone and to pray. He was a very, very sensitive soul, and he didn't like the fact that people had jealousy and they spoke bad about each other, and he just liked to go alone, and like the animals in the forest wouldn't harm him. So there's an idea that in a way the forest is a place that's devoid of
Human feelings and human.
not human. It's also, but yeah, but because of that, it's devoid of, also not good
Politics.
things happening. Yeah.
And agendas and
Yeah.
all of the. Okay, so if he wants to get away from civilization, that's understandable because he doesn't want to deal with greed and,
Yeah.
and all these things. That's understandable. He was trying to escape human problems so they wouldn't reflect on him.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's something else. We're not talking about that. We're talking about purity and impurity. Let's leave that aside for now. We as people, when God created fish, He spoke to the sea,
Okay.
and fish was created.
I don't know if he spoke to the sea. He said, "Let there be fish," or whatever it is.
He spoke to the sea, and fish were created, because the sea was created before all the animals and everything else.
Yeah, I don't think he. Well, maybe I think though, at least the way the pasuk writes it is that he said, "Let there be whatever," and it was there. So he said, "Let there be fish in the sea."
And so all the fish came.
They appeared, just or whatever. Who knows?
That's crazy. But fish is the only animal that the
We're not gonna try doing this again. This is what we're gonna do. Okay, unfortunately, we're gonna have to be using this because we're having a problem with the camera. Okay, guys. So unfortunately,
the camera doesn't want to work for us.
yeah, I don't know. There's something weird going on with the camera. So we're just gonna do this. It's not as good of a situation, but it is what it is, as they say.
So you were gonna read something out of the book?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something, add a little bit of value. Go check out that podcast, by the way, and I will try my best to remember to put a link in the description at the bottom. Let's see. So, in the Parshah talks about, like we just said now,
About different covenants.
what were you saying? Did you finish your thought?
I don't recall. What was that?
I guess we have to figure out where did they put the ashes.
Right.
Okay. Okay, so here goes. So because we're talking about fire, we're going to read some stuff, interesting things about fire. So it says that certain Tanaim and Amoraim, rabbis in the time of the Mishnah and the Gemara, when they would learn, there would be fire around them. To the point where in Masechah Sukkah it says about Yonis and Uziel, and if you learn Torah and there would be like a bird flying by, you would get burnt from the fire. It says also Rabbi Lezer and Rabbi Yeshua, they were eating in a Suda, and obviously when Talmidei Chachamim are in a Suda, they also say Divrei Torah, and there was a fire around them. It says in Zohar that Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, when he would learn Torah with his friends, there was fire, and Rabbi Abba ben Azai, and Rabbi Avahu, and many like that. And then, this is interesting, it says that there were actually fire by certain tzaddikim, by the grave site of certain tzaddikim. So, in the Gemara, in Moed Katan, it says that Chizkiah, the son of Rabbi Chia, there was like a pillar of fire by his grave site. And Rabbi Shmuel Bar Yitzchak, when he passed away, when he had his levaya, there was a pillar of fire that separated him from the rest of the people that were there. And it says, like, the Chachamim had a Masorah that only happens for 1 or 2 people per generation, where, that happens. It says in the Sefer Sivuv Harav Pisachia that there was actually a pillar of fire on the gravesite of Yechezkel Hanavi until a point where certain people who came there who were of low spiritual state, and it stopped. And it says by Ezra HaSefer that at 11 o'clock in the day there would be a fire that would go from his gravesite all the way to the heaven, and people had to go far away, a fair distance, because of how much light was coming off the fire. How crazy is that?
That's insane.
And
we also know that in Gehinom, Chachamim are protected because their fire, their Torah learning is their fire.
Right.
So the fires of Gehinom don't affect them.
Fight fire with fire.
Mm-hmm. Which is why Doeg, before he went to Gehinom, he forgot all his Torah. So the fires of Gehinom affect him.
Who's this?
Doeg.
Oh, because he was a Rasha. Right? He was the head of the base day, yeah, but he was a bad man. Bad man.
Okay. The main reason why this happened to him, he got his punishment, is because he killed all the Kohanim in Nob.
He was the one who was vice Shaul to not to kill out the entire Amalek. Not to kill the animals and not to kill the king.
Oh, really? Yeah. So that's another reason why Hashem was so mad at him.
It says he was a Rasha, even though he was brilliant.
Right.
And then, this Tiferet Shlomo, we spoke about Tiferet Shlomo once. Oh, actually, that week we weren't there. Tiferet Shlomo was, he was the first, I believe he was the first Rebbe of Radomsk. Beautiful, beautiful history. Go check out that episode, guys. Again, something else I have to remember to put there, but I think the title of the video is Who Was the Tiferet Shlomo? You can go look at that. It's just a little bit of information. Nothing extensive, but it's also an interesting episode. And it says about Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira in his Sefer that it was known to everybody that on the night of Rosh Chodesh Sivan and on the night of Shavuos, the entire Kol HaOlam, everybody saw that there was a pillar of fire on his gravesite from the earth till the heavens, and it was just a miraculous occurrence. Guys,
too bad we didn't have any satellites to see it. How far it goes.
Oh, right. There's so many things like that. There's the Sambatyon. Where's the Sambatyon now? The river where on Shabbos it rests, and throughout the week it throws up stones and grinds them. You know the whole story?
No.
Oh my gosh, this is one of the.
You gotta send me the link, man.
The Sambatyon, yeah. Maybe we'll cover it.
He's gonna put it in the link, guys. I just put you on, bro.
Well, I think I'd rather actually speak about it. It's an incredible I mean, you could call it a legend, you know, because like nobody knows where it is or everything, but this is documented. And
There's a lake that does this?
what?
There's a lake or river that does this?
There's some body of water somewhere. You know, they say that's where the Bnei Moshe, the sons of Moshe are there, or I mentioned this a little bit with this guy who was named Eldad Hadani, who was like he came somewhere in Kairouan in North Africa, and he said he's part of the 10 lost tribes, and he like taught them a bunch of stuff, and people didn't know exactly anything about him, and then, you know, but he was like many of the rabbis of the time who interrogated him, like, you know, extensively to see, you know, if they believed him to be legitimate. Anyway, yeah, I don't even know which video I covered that in, but anyway, guys, I just wanted to say good Shabbos. Thank you for being here. We're back.
We're finally back.
And yeah, if you made it to the end, amazing. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I don't know what's up with the camera, why it's acting up, but
What was the comment? What was the comment? You were gonna read the comment.
I wasn't gonna read it. Well, basically, it's funny. My son basically said hi.
That was it? You were like, oh, I gotta share this with you.
I didn't say share it. Anyway.
You made it sound like a big deal, man.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for
Sorry
joining.
it was a little too short. Good Shabbos. Hopefully you find this entertaining.
And informative.
That's correct.
Thank you for being here. Smash the like button, share it with your friends. When you do hear this on Spotify, rate it 5 stars. You know, help us out so we can up the quality, so we don't have these technical difficulties. I can get a guy to, you know, man the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
We want to bring you quality stuff. There's obviously quality content, but we want to up the production value for you guys. So, yeah, thank you for being here.
Don't forget to make an appointment for your Pesach haircuts.
Yes.
You know where we at? 409 Troy Avenue, bro. That's where we at.
Get your haircuts at theBarber.
Didn't that sound like one of those videos, music videos? That's where we at.
I was gonna say something I'm forgetting right now.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's all good. I don't remember. Anyways, good Shabbos, and
We'll see you next week.
see you next week.
It'll come to you eventually.
Oh, remember to pray hard.
And play hard.
Yeah. Peace, guys. Shabbos.